So we're side by side.
Yep.
Hello.
Okay, perfect. And I start, right?
Mm-hmm. We are live.
Welcome to the 5 ways that women tend to sabotage their dating relationships. Hey guys, I am Sarah K Ramsey, and I'm here with Sherlyn Chong, dating coach and my business bestie. Hey Sherlyn, how are you?
Hey Sarah, I am good, doing really well. Very excited to share these tips with women today because we don't want you to self-sabotage yourself again, right?
Yes, we don't want you to self-sabotage, and we don't want you to spend so much time on Mr. Wrong that you can't find Mr. Right, right?
Exactly. Totally.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to dive right in.
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Number 1, don't date if you feel like you're going to get a ton of anxiety from wondering when your honey bunny is going to text next. Okay, Sherlyn, how often have you seen ladies freak out because their whole life revolves around that next text message? And what does that do to us?
Oh my gosh, so many. All the time, women freak out so much. And just so you know, Sarah, I would say Sarah has picked very wisely in terms of experts to come onto your group.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yes.
And that's because I am actually a dating coach who advises dating apps. So I partner with a dating app, and the dating app's called The League, and that's from San Francisco. And so we have the data. We actually have the data. We have the moans and groans of the people on that app, especially the women, because they're coming on to us and telling us what's going on and what are the pet peeves. So we actually have the data. Now, not a lot of dating coaches actually, I don't know of any dating coaches that are affiliated with actual dating apps in that way or have the data that can tell you what is going on, right? So it can prevent you from all these pitfalls. Okay, with that said, that aside, all right,
yeah.
Just so you know.
Sorry, I did a bad job. I should have given her bio because she also runs like the science of getting over him. And that is one of the things, you guys know I have a master's degree in research. And that's one of the real reasons Sherlyn and I are business besties. It's because it's like, does it actually work? Like we have that conversation. Like it's not just like this abstract, like self-love, feel good, make yourself look cute. Like everything that our conversations are so outcome driven. Like what's the data? Does it work? What's the research? What's the science? Let's change these ladies' lives. So, okay, so number 1, don't date if you feel like you'll get a ton of anxiety from wondering when he's going to text next. Tell us why, Sherlyn.
All right, Sarah. Why this tiny thing? If you get a ton of anxiety, right, and that might seem like a really tiny thing, it's because if you already feel so much anxiety with that tiny thing, just wondering when he's going to text next, and you're stressing out every day, and you're telling your friends about it, then when push comes to shove, when the deeper things come in, like talking about the relationship and all that fancy stuff, that really deep, heart-to-heart stuff, I don't know what's going to happen to you. You're going to freak out. Okay? So if one tiny thing gives you a ton of anxiety, the rest of that relationship will give you even more anxiety. So please don't date now. My solution for this, okay? And I know you guys are not going to like this at all. Stop dating. Seriously. Stop. Okay? And I cannot emphasize this more. I really cannot emphasize this more. You do not have what it takes right now. And I know that sounds really horrible, but it's true. You do not have what it takes right now. You haven't actually conquered what is needed to be conquered. And you've just kind of jumped into dating. Okay? So stop. Give yourself a month or so. You're definitely not ready. Please realize this about yourself. And please know that there's no rush. There's absolutely no rush. Okay? So either that or get yourself a dating coach. We always recommend that. Okay, we always recommend professional help here, right? But you have to conquer you first. You have to conquer all your fears, okay? And in Sarah's program, the other way around, it's Sarah's program, right? She does that, right? She makes sure that you conquer all your fears before you let somebody in. Her program is the first step to dating, actually, to be honest. Wonders Woman is the first step to dating. So if you haven't joined her program yet, please come in and join us. We are going to be toxic person proof. Okay, so now,
yes, which makes dating feel so much safer.
It
right?
Does,
it makes dating feel so safer.
It does.
Because, the last part of my program, as you obviously know, is designing a life you're excited about living. And if you have this whole, full, abundant, confident life, you're not just begging for the phone to beep and him to text, right? It's like, oh great, he texted, or he didn't, someone else will, right? That's such a different attitude. And when you have that attitude going into dating, you're not as likely to ignore the red flags, right, Sherlyn?
Yeah, exactly. Because you have a clear mind. You're not wondering, why doesn't he do this? You're actually wondering, why doesn't he do this?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
absolutely.
a huge shift. So please stop dating, okay? And you're not ready for it, okay? Especially if you're in this group, right? And you haven't left. Well, obviously you're here because you're watching this. Yeah, then don't. Okay, so
Numero two. Don't swear off dating apps. And this is why you are the person for this question, Shirley. And I do know you have all that data on collected from high achieving, high level women, right? This is some dating app, this is for high level females, right?
Yes. The league is for high level females who want to find a guy who doesn't mind that they are high level females. So quality guy and quality women. So the aim of this app is to create power couples. So the league is quite exclusive. You have to get onto a waiting list. So, but even there, we also have the data. I say data, Sarah says data. So yeah, okay.
Tomato. There's like a song about that.
It's all the same.
Yeah. So why shouldn't we swear off dating apps, Sherlyn?
Yes, exactly. Because you hear, even though you hear people moaning and groaning about dating apps all the time, please get yourself out of that negative space, because a lot of people's experiences on dating apps are not all about moaning and groaning. You just hear the negative side of it, right? And if you choose to put yourself in that negative side, then you're just going to focus on that, and you're just going to be, oh yeah, dating apps suck, yeah, fuck. Oops, sorry. Beep. Beep. Yeah.
Keep it clean, Sherlyn. Keep it clean.
Okay. So, anyway, hopefully you forgive my French, but yeah, don't immerse yourself into that toxic environment, because I can tell you, the women who are getting success on dating apps, they're not moaning and groaning. They're not even talking about it, because you know why? They're busy being with their guy. Why should they be talking about how happy they are? People don't even talk about how happy they are if you think about it. So
True.
Please.
True.
A lot of my clients get married, meet a guy and get married, or they meet a guy and are in a long-term relationship with, because of the dating apps, right? Believe me, it can feel like men have no brain cells. It can. We know. We are very aware of that fact. It can feel like there are no good men alive. Okay, but to solve this, like we said, is really about data. It's really about statistics. 70 to 90% of the men that you meet on these dating apps, they're not going to be for you. And the people that you are listening from, they are moaning and groaning about these 70% to 90% of the men. But if you can choose to weed out these men, you choose to look past this man. And again, that's what's going to happen when you join the Wondrous Woman program. All right. And when you're able to look past these men, then the 10 to 30%, you'll find they are awesome. They are amazing, amazing men. Again, many of my clients have gotten married or gotten into long-term relationships with men they met off dating apps. So please, okay, don't swear off them.
Well, and Sherlyn, you and I both know the card analogy, which is like flipping through a deck of cards, right? And the first card you go through might be a 4, and it might be a 6, and it might be a 3, and it might be a 9. It might be, you're just looking for those kings and aces, and you have to flip through the deck to find them, right?
You're not absolutely right, and you give up. You give up so soon. Listen, you're not entitled to a great guy. I don't know why it's so shocking to you. But please, listen, we're all not entitled to a great guy. I worked my ass off to find my guy, okay? And I found him online, right? And we've been together in a relationship for 4 years. If you want a great relationship, you got to work for it. And sometimes it's just doing what it takes to find the love that you want, okay? Please stop feeling so entitled that you're going to make a great man off the bat, all right? Do what it takes. The guys, I can tell you, the guys on the other side, because I'm a dating coach overall for both men and women, the guys on the other side, they're having the same thing about women.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They complain all the time. There's no good girls out there. They're all crazy. They're all this. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not, you know? And it's just, again, you have to do the work of it, you know? When I was dating, I would say yes to everything. So I would constantly put myself in situations where I was going to be around people I did not know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was forced to meet new people. And when I was met those people, I would say, yes, I'm looking, you know, I'm interested in dating someone, and putting yourself out there, right? So it wasn't the, you know, that takes bravery, right? That takes courage.
It does. It takes bravery. It takes courage. Yes. Yes.
You know, and you have to do the work of it, you know? Hiding in your house and waiting for a Prince Charming to knock on the door
that ain't gonna happen, girl.
No, it's not gonna happen.
No.
Okay, so number 3, beware, and she wrote this out like BOI, so I'm gonna beware of the soft boy. Like, is that how you say that?
Yeah, that's legit how you say that. That's really, really legit. It's not my spelling. It's their spelling. That's what they beware of the soft boy. Alright.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that's sort of new. So just be careful, because we've had that very recently. It's new development. Now, in dating, you have all kinds of really interesting terms like submarining, caspering. I'm sure you've heard of ghosting. And then now there's a soft boy, right? So this is a trap that many women fall for, because it seems like this guy is so sweet and caring and deep. So deep, right? And he's actually one of the guys that you can have a deep, stimulating, intellectual conversation with. And after a bunch of guys who have no brain cells in their brains, right? Who are just like, hey, you know, want to come over? You know, right?
Yeah.
Those kind of messages that make you just lose your IQ the same way I lose IQ when I watch the Kardashians. So,
Okay, go ahead. Yes,
I am not fan.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, but anyway,
Yes.
so this guy you have such deep, stimulating conversations with, and suddenly he's like, oh my gosh, he's such a fresh breath of air, and everything is just so deep and vulnerable and sexy. So he waxes lyrical. He talks about poetry. He quotes from famous authors. So he would say things like, I love women with a big, sexy brain. I'm not a boobs and tits guy. I love a woman with a big, sexy brain. And I don't do portraits. You know, I paint auras instead. I can feel your aura. And he loves cult classics like Pulp Fiction. Okay, and I like Pulp Fiction just like any other guy, right, or any other girl. But he loves Pulp Fiction. Okay, so these men, they will say these things. They wax lyrical a lot, and sometimes they don't even make sense, because that's what they are, nonsensical. Okay,
Yeah.
and now they can be a little bit insecure, so that's why they really hook you. Please watch out for this. He will say things like, oh, my brother and my friends, they always thank me for doing the right thing, but I think they take me for granted, and I really like to help people, but I do it so quietly that sometimes I think that I am invisible. Invisible Sean, I'll call myself. But I cannot help it if I love to do nothing more than to just put on my favorite jazz tunes and paint in a quiet room till my wrists are sore and the sky has fallen and the lights are out. You know, he would say stuff like this, right? And then you almost want to say, no, you're so beautiful, and you're not invisible. You're visible to me. You know, I can see you. I see you, Sean. Go, Sean. You're an amazing, deep guy. And I really enjoy our intellectual conversations. That's why they get you. Okay? Now,
They become the victim.
Yep.
And you do the work of catering to them immediately.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, Sarah gets it. And if you've been with a narcissist, you know how that goes. But this is a different kind of narcissist. Now, this is what the soft boy is. The soft boy is a more covert version of the main narcissistic man. Now, there are different kinds of narcissists. Sarah and I are experts at narcissists. You know, we've been through.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
right?
Unfortunately,
Did you dream about this as a kid? When I was growing up, I didn't think I was going to become an expert in narcissism.
Yeah, me too.
This wasn't where I thought I was going to.
Absolutely nobody does. Like, yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
Exactly. Right here we are talking to you guys.
Here we are.
Okay. Now, so he might seem genuinely interested at first, but then suddenly he'll lash out at you or ghost you without warning. Now, we have experienced this. My clients have experienced this. So what I say to you is not just theory. We have actually experienced this. So now we're here to warn you about it. He will lash out. When you have a man who is angry, this guy is under a facade, right? And he's not as vulnerable and deep as you think he is. Intellectual here, okay, maybe, but emotionally immature over here, okay, or over here, I don't know.
Well, and I want to add to that, in the States, yeah, I call it like the Angelina Jolie complex. And you'll have these guys who it's like, oh, you know, I work with Habitat for Humanity, or I'm involved in my church, or,
yes,
you know, they have this whole spirit, or yoga even. Like they have this whole like spiritual facade. And it, as soon as they say, oh, I'm a Christian, or I'm involved in church, or I help Habitat for Humanity, or whatever it is, I volunteer to help addicts, you know, whatever else it is, you immediately, that goes into your good person box, right?
Yeah,
and you let down
box.
your guard. And anybody who's trying too hard, if they're actually a good person, they're not trying to get into your good person box. It's not a manipulation tactic. But when she's talking about, oh, you know, I love your brains, not your boobs. Like, come on, all men love boobs. Come on, you know. But you know,
the gay ones.
And they can love your brains too. Yeah. But to say that is about them trying to get you to let down your guard, so you miss the red flags.
Yeah. Be careful. Be really careful with that, because you don't realize it until you're actually in it. It's hard. It's hard to, you're right, Sarah? It's to realize it when you're actually, you know, from an outside person's perspective, it's much easier. It's so much easier. But when you're in it, it's just, okay? You know when you're in it, when he is confusing. He's confusing to you, and he dramatizes everything. He's kind of sensitive, right? Sensitive guy. You know, I love alternate jazz, if that's a thing. I don't know. Is alternate jazz a thing? Anyway, so yeah, they don't make sense, and you put them in that good person box because they're still a mystery, right? Like Sarah was saying, they're a mystery, but you put them in that good person box because that's the kind of person that you are. You put people in two boxes. Please don't do that. Please make a black and white decision. I tell my clients all the time, you can only make a black and white decision in love. You cannot make it in the gray area. When it's going to be in the gray area, that's when you're going to get into trouble. So if he's over dramatizing, right? If he is lashing out, if he has like he indicates signs of his past, you know, where it wasn't all okay, please be careful of that. Right, Sarah? Yeah.
Absolutely. And if he's a mystery and you start questioning what's happening, there is your red flag.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you cannot figure out what's going on, or they leave you confused in any way, you know, two paths diverged in a yellow wood. You can choose to go down it, and you are going to end up in a mess, or choose to stop it right there. That is your red flag. Confusion. In my Wonder Woman program, I call it abstract thinking. And my Wonder Woman ladies are going to say, yes, I know what she's talking about. When you get stuck into abstract thinking, you are in a mess. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. And we have another red flag. Sizzling chemistry. Tell us about point number 4, Sherlyn.
Okay, now this is something that takes women back all the time. Aback. Not take women literally back. Takes women aback all the time. Sizzling chemistry can be a red flag. Now, there's a high chance that your chemistry, you know, that oh my gosh, he just gets me. We just get together so freaking well. Oh my gosh, it was so good before it became so bad, right? So your chemistry with your ex was probably a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, or even an 11 out of 10. My chemistry with my ex was an 11 out of 10. Okay, just so you know. And but the thing is, the toxicity doesn't go away just because you found another guy that you're 10 out of 10 into. You have the 10 out of 10 chemistry. See, the chemistry is an indication of passion, right? Chemistry is passion, okay? And passion is excitement. So now, what a lot of people don't know is that excitement equals instability. I'm going to repeat that again because you need to know this. Excitement equals instability. If the instability, right, the shakiness of the relationship, remember Sarah was saying mystery, a confusion, right? They're going to make you feel that way. And the best thing to do is to trust your intuition because you know when something's off. Okay, now if the instability isn't coming from you, because you, the wonderful one watching this, you're all awesome and logical, right? That's you. And of course, you're very wise, right? You're very empathetic. Then, but the thing is, you're not illogical, right? You're not unstable. So if the chemistry is coming from you, where is it coming from? Likely it's coming from the relationship, and it's coming from the relationship because it's coming from the guy. Okay? very, very important for you to realize this. The chemistry comes from somewhere. Chemistry equals instability, comes from somewhere. Now, stability, we all know from the research and data, stability makes for a long-term relationship, but not instability. Passion doesn't last, comfort does, which is why the relationships that we've had blows up.
Yes.
Passion doesn't last, comfort does, right, Sarah? Sarah would know.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Passion only has a certain amount of time before it fizzles out. It always is like this. It just is. I cannot. There's no theory. It's all backed up by science. You know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a drop off, isn't it? Like it usually typically at the first 3 months, and then a little after a year. Is that true?
It depends for everybody. So some narcissists, as you know, they're really good at maintaining it.
Yes, I was going to say, I feel like that's not true for narcissists. Yes.
Yeah. But it really depends. We've had. I mean, we know that women stay in relationships for 10 years because they keep hooking them back. So it's always off and on. Or sometimes it's like 10 years, but it's really slow climbing. Or So
and chaos makes you easier to control.
Yes.
Point one. And this is also why some of you are like, why do nice guys seem boring?
Yeah.
And it's because you've associated that dysfunction with passion.
Yeah.
Dysfunction with passion. Chaos makes it easier to control. It's like, oh, he's always so mad at me, but when our bodies come together, it's all right. That is a very powerful experience. The problem is, he's always mad at you, and then he gets you to keep giving yourself to him through sex, so you earn his love back, and then the cycle of dysfunction continues, right? And so it's like, no, it's not going to be like that with a nice guy who's not trying to use and manipulate you. It's going to feel different. It doesn't mean it's boring. I'm not asking you to be with someone who's boring, but don't expect it to feel like an obsession. If it does, that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Which brings us to the last point.
Yes.
The last way.
Take a deep breath. You're going to freak out in your dating process at some point, and it is okay. You are human. You are human, right?
You are completely human. Now, Sarah has mentioned about not having that delicious chemistry, that delicious passion when you are with a nice guy, right? And you think that he's boring. That's exactly why you freak out.
Yes.
I think you're lagging there a little bit. Okay, now we're back. Okay, right. So the thing is, when you are with a stable guy, suddenly all your brain cells, everything in your body is on high alert because you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're just waiting for something to happen, right? And you're picking this guy apart, this poor guy who hasn't done anything to you. You're picking her apart. Okay, he has to be a little bit strange somewhere. But the thing is, the moment this poor guy does something that sets you off, you're out of there. Okay, you're gonna freak out. Okay, so poor guys who have been subjected to my clients' freakouts are men who simply were too clumsy. Seriously, too clumsy, right? Younger by 2 years. These are legitimate things. Yeah, younger by 2 years, freaked out.
Wow.
They haven't done anything wrong, ladies. They haven't done anything wrong. Okay, so another thing. He wasn't as connected as I want him to be. He isn't as connected. And ladies, these doesn't matter in the long run. What really matters in the long run is that he has husband potential qualities, right, Sarah? Husband potential qualities, right? And if you're saying that, there's not enough chemistry, give him another chance because chemistry can be built. Give him another chance.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't want, if in a toxic relationship, there are so many problems that in a healthy relationship, you start to look for problems to solve.
So right. Yeah.
And you don't want to start creating problems, which is I heard from those examples. These women are creating problems because they're so used to having problems. And then you're going to push away those good guys every time.
Yeah.
And this is actually a mistake I made with Ben and I. And I just have such grace that he didn't push me away. But I remember at one point, you know, there was a lot of things that happened in my life, like blah, 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 that happened even after the relationship, you know, was over. But there was still a lot of aftermath. And I remember at one point he looked at me, he said, "I'm not your counselor." And I was like, fair point. You know, you're not my counselor, you're not my girlfriend. But it was just like, there's all these problems. And I was like bringing up these problems. I think there's going to be problems with him. And, you know, I messed up on this one by the, you know, we're still together by his kindness and grace. And I say his kindness and grace. Because he put up with a lot for me that he shouldn't have had to, because he was a nice guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one other thing I want to bring up, Sarah, since you brought this up. I mean, Sarah has lived the experience. She knows what happens. So when he's so kind and so nice and you're freaking out on him, you're going to think, oh no, am I going to be the narcissist, right?
Oh, yeah.
I feel so guilty now. I feel so guilty. And then you want to leave the relationship anyway, because now you're a monster, apparently.
Yes.
Yes.
And just self-sabotage. Like, oh, I don't deserve his kindness. Oh, you know, what a mess. Oh, there must be a problem. He must be cheating on me.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any problems.
Oh, yeah, that's,
you know?
that's one of the number one things. He must be cheating on me. He must be seeing somebody else.
Yes. Yes.
Not all men are your ex, right? Not all men. Yeah.
No,
and Sarah was
just
saying
really,
as well.
after a toxic relationship, I talk about crocodiles, right? I think you talk about scorpions, Sherlyn. I talk about crocodiles, but it's like,
same thing.
You've got to figure out if it's really a crocodile, and then the real crocodiles, watch out so they don't bite, but everything is not a crocodile. And after a toxic relationship, that's one of the first things with my clients. I have to work on them like a private client today, and it's like, she has been so hyper vigilant for so long, and it's like, everything feels like a crocodile. So it's like, we have to slow down your nervous system and get some peace in your life so you can see, because she can't even find the actual dangers of her life because everything feels so dangerous. Yeah. So she's a sitting duck right now because everything feels dangerous. You can't fix all the things, right? Or all the problems. And so that process of, is it a real problem or an imaginary problem, right?
So right. It's right. And to continue what Sarah has said, the danger, your world is in high danger mode all the time. Now, Wondrous Woman, the wondrous thing about Wondrous Woman.
Wondrous Woman, yes.
Wondrous thing is that it teaches you to invite calm and peace to be your new normal. Danger was your normal before. Now calm and peace and being Zen as peep, all right? Zen as peep.
Good job, Sherlyn.
Thank you.
Tell her to keep it clean in my group.
Yeah. No problem. Keep it clean. I'm a sassy peep, but you know, Sarah. Sarah has very politely asked me. No, she didn't ask me. I volunteered to keep it clean, so I'm gonna just keep it clean.
Yes.
But those of you know, you have to be as zen as possible. Okay, calm. It needs to be your new normal. And you're going to freak out, and that's fine. Have a lot of compassion for yourself. You're going to freak out. But is it really, like Sarah says, is it really a real problem? Or is it just your imagination over here? And this is a great way to get the feedback from the women in the Wondrous Woman group. Okay, get some feedback, because I'll be there as well, giving you some feedback. And that's how you know if nothing in your life a great way to know if your relationship is a good one is to ask yourself, are these problems being created by me, or are these problems being created by him? And Sarah knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, and I want to add to that, because the problems that Ben and I have had, it's not as if we haven't had problems, but they're all like life problems that we have to deal with together versus he and I are the problem, or the relationship's the problem, or his attitude's the problem, or my anger's the problem, right?
Yep.
Of course there's problems, but they are the things in the world outside of us that we have to come together on. It's not as if I see it all the time in this group. People are like, everything in my life is great except for him, right? And that the relationship was the main problem, right?
Yeah. If the relationship is a problem, then you have a problem.
Yes. And the problem that, most of us have realized traditional therapy and traditional methods don't really fix. right? I know you found that in your work. And I mean, this week there was a client, private client, I have private and group coaching, and a private client said, I've been struggling with that for 5 years, and you just had 2 minutes on it. And I was like, do you mind writing me a testimonial? Because if I told people that myself, they would think it was too good to be true and I was lying. She was like, absolutely, because it just seems too good to be true, that it's just what makes sense, right? Not getting caught up in all the past, getting past the past, getting real about the present, and getting serious about the future so that you don't have to do the rest of your life alone.
You don't deserve to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right.
But he doesn't come knocking on your door.
No, you got to work for your man. Work for your man.
You got to work for your man. Yes. They talk about, and one of the points we had on our 10 silly ways to heal, Sherlyn, is when we said that, if somebody put all the work into keeping that, trying to keep that relationship alive, into keeping themselves alive, and I want to be careful. It is like putting that work into yourself before you put it into a dating relationship. You don't want to just transfer like all the work you put into the past relationship into dating, because it's very easy to catch a narcissist. If you are fishing, it's very easy to catch a narcissist. I have someone in my life, and she's like, oh, I need to do coach training on your group because everybody who dates me wants to marry me. I was like, girl, you've been divorced twice, and both of them hit you. You are not touching my group. Like, no, and I mean, seriously. And it's like, and then she's had several other proposals, and it's like, the goal is not just to get someone. The goal is to get someone who's going to treat you well. Right?
Yeah, that's completely right. Right. Sorry, Sarah, you were backing a little bit there. Technical problem. Sorry, guys.
We're continents away from each other. We are continents away from each other. So we're always her morning and my night, and then weird texts in the middle of the night as we chat about the our lives, loves, and business, right? And I know so much of our life and love is helping women exactly like you to reconnect with what's right with you, become toxic person proof, and design a life you're excited about living. And if that means finding love for you, then that's what we want for you. And if it means learning to repair your relationship with yourself, then that's what we want for you. And if it's repairing a relationship with your kids, then that's what we want for you. And if it's kicking butt and going after that promotion, then that's what we want for you. So if you are, I don't think I have any spots open in my calendar this week, but
She actually doesn't. She doesn't have spots open. She's booked up, people. That's how many people are calling her.
Yes. And then chatting with my private clients in between all that, and all that. So I just passionately love what I do. And everybody asks, they say, isn't it a hard job? And I said, I was telling Sherlyn before the phone, I was like, she goes, what type of female do you work with? I was like, they're just so nice. They're so nice. Like, they were just like, had their goodness used against them, their kindness used against them. We all just like get together and like love on each other, and they're so sweet. She's like, wow, it's true. That's how I talk about you guys behind your back, if you don't know. And that's why I absolutely just love what I do. So and that's why maybe you're watching a rerun of this video, and you can go to sarahkramsey.com/contact to book a spot. I don't think I have any more this week. There's like 5 people signed up for today. So, but I want to talk to each of you personally at this point, because
we want to protect you, really.
Oh, yeah, we do. Well, my success rate comes from getting the right person in the right program at the right time. And that's why people say, oh my gosh, this worked so quickly. You helped me so much, because it was the right fit for you at that moment. So that's why we have the phone call, not to say click here and join, because click here and join, it might not be a good fit. And I want you to say really nice things about your experience and say I was the best thing that ever happened to you. That's my goal. Sherlyn and I are still pretty young, right? I don't know exactly how old you are. I think we're about the same age. But, we've got 20 or 30 years of reputation that we're building we're in this for the long haul. And we want this to be the best decision you ever made.
And it will be.
Mm-hmm.
I can attest to that. I can attest that. Knowing Sarah for a while, we both will heal each other. We both have done it. Oh, she's over here. I'm like swapped. I'm mirrored. So anyway, she's over here. Yeah, Sarah has been so good for me. And I know that I did the same for her. This is what happens when you are with a bunch of women who only want your highest good, want your highest good, and they're not toxic. They're not taking and taking and taking away from you. They're giving to you so that you can become the best person that you can be. And you deserve to give that to yourself. You deserve to give that to your kids. So whenever Sarah's available.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. Yeah, whenever Sarah's available. Yeah, Sarah's not unkind, by the way. She's very passionate. Gosh,
I am. I big hearts for what I do. Big hearts for my ladies. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, big hearts for ladies. Yeah. And big hearts for you, Sherlyn. Thank you for joining us with your fabulous database advice, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Maybe next time when we come on board, I can tell you about the best dating apps to use. Right?
Yes, that would be amazing.
That would be so you weed out all the really lackluster ones. Okay. Anyway.
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, guys. So it's been great, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.